Righty boys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm finally doing the much asked for settings update. So my last settings video was done over a year ago, just before the LAN event. So yeah, I feel like after a year, I feel like it's kind of time to update. Now, not a lot of things have changed. There's not a crazy amount of change. Not had like a settings overhaul or anything like that. But there are a few little things I've changed, and just one that's a lot more updated for you. I do get asked quite a lot to do settings, and yeah, I thought it's about time I finally did an updated one. I feel like a year is long enough. So yeah, after about 3,300 hours, I finally got some settings I'm kind of comfortable with. I fiddled around with them a little bit the other day, just a little bit of direct lean, that's literally it, just to sort of get ready for Supercross again. But yeah, I'm going to be going through all my settings, everything one by one, and yeah, stick through, and yeah, feel free to pause, go through them all, and yeah, copy them. But yeah, I will get on with the settings now. Quick disclaimer as well, ignore this bar pad. I'm getting a paint made for this model. It's a new model that this paint was not made for, so I don't actually have a paint for it yet. But yeah, let's get into the settings. Alrighty, so first things first, these are all like my controller, these are all my sticks, everything like that, so you don't really need to worry about this. This is all kind of personal preference, I'd say. Don't worry about buttons, anything like that. Have them how you want them, that's what I would say. But yeah, we've got rider lane tracking disabled. I don't really know what this does, I'm gonna be honest. I just always have it disabled. I've never really touched it or, you know, fiddled around with it before ever. So yeah, leave that as disabled. My direct lean is 70. This is how much the bike sort of gets to the floor. So if I was to jam, I stick to the left or to the right, is how quick it would get to the floor. Combined brakes, I would 100% recommend combined brakes. I wouldn't use single brakes. I run mine on 25, 115. I kind of change these around a little bit every now and then. I sort of change them to how I fancy it, or I have them lower for outdoors and then higher for Supercross, if that makes sense. And then lean, I've got my dead zone on 3, linearity 150. I don't have smoothing on for lead, so 0, and then my gain is on 97.3. I've had my gain like this for probably about 8-9 months now. I'm kind of in a happy point with my settings. I don't feel like I need to be changing them, really. I only really change direct lean and gain if I was to change anything. Direct lean more than anything. Direct lean is something that I kind of change around and fiddle with every now and then. Every few months or so often I kind of fiddle around. But everything else this side kind of stays the exact same. I never change any of these really. Throttle, I've got 0%, 100%, and then smoothing 30, 0, and then gain 100. Smoothing is just to help with a little bit of throttle control, just with these new bikes being as they are. They're a little bit slippy on the rear end. So it just helps. It just helps a little bit. I don't have bad throttle control. It just helps, you know, it's just there if I need it. There's a little bit of leeway there with throttle control. Brakes, I believe this is all default, so 0, 100, 0%, 0%, no smoothing, and then 100% gain. Rear brake, I have dead zone 0, linearity 100, I have smooth on 30 and 10, and then gain, I have that on 110.2. This, for me, just helps with more brake taps. It kind of gets the wheel stopped quicker, if that makes sense. Just kind of helps with brake taps a bit, drops the front end down, makes it a little bit easier to either be steezy, or in Supercross you do use brake taps quite a lot. If you want to drop the front end down or bring the rear end up if you feel like casing a little bit, this just sort of helps with getting the wheel stopped quicker. And then clutch, I use quick shift, so I have this on 0, 100. Smoothing, I believe, is just always on. I don't think you can change that. 0%, 0%, and then 100% gain. I believe most of that is stock anyway. And then rider falls about lean. I've got 5% dead zone, 100% linearity, 0%, 0%, no smoothing, and then 105.6% gain. And then a rider left right lean 5%, 100%, 0%, 0% again, no smoothing, and then gain 92.2. The only reason I've changed these around a little bit is because Cam used to change them around and he said that it helps a bit. So I did these when I was doing them with him ages ago, and I've kind of kept them like that. I don't really know the difference between them, as in like, I don't think it's a massive difference between having it stock and then putting the gain up or down a little bit. I just kind of liked how it felt, and now I'm used to it. If I put it back to default, it would feel weird. So I'm used to it, so I like it. But it's not really a major thing you need to do, but I do have them changed as well. So input 2, again, most of these are just buttons. So my shift up and shift down are actually on my buttons on my controller, my sticks I mean. So L3 for you PS4 guys. L3 is my downshift, and then R3 is my upshift, which is very weird. I know a lot of people will use like square and triangle to shift, but I've always used the sticks, even from the MXGP games, even from the Supercross games. It's always been sticks. I've always been using them. So I've just kind of carried them over, obviously, into MX bikes when I got MX bikes, and I've just left them like that. I've just kept them like that, and I kind of like it because I'd never have to get off of leaning or steering. I never have to like get off of the rider lean or steering if I'm going around a corner and I want to shift or anything like that. To me, it just makes it a lot easier having it on the sticks because you never really have to take your thumbs off of it. Starter, you don't really need to worry about this. This is just like if you have automatic clutch off or something like that, I think it is, you can like stall the bike and start the bike. I use it every now and then, but you don't really need it. Push bike is my obviously arrows. I've got my left, right, well, up, down really is for pushing the bike. Sit down is my R1 button. So R1 is my sit button. I have it on direct. Direct means if you've got this cross here, that means you hold it to sit. So if I'm sitting, you see the red bar there. That's me sitting, standing, sitting, standing. I'll be holding it instead of clicking. I know a lot of people go click to sit, click to stand, click to sit. So that's basically what that is. So direct cross is you hold it, unticked, you have it. So you click it once, you're sitting, and then you stand back up when you click it again. Rider dab, I have it on in my simulation. We'll go through that in a minute. I have it on in my simulation, but I don't see the point in having a manual button for it. That to me doesn't make sense. So I don't have that as a manual button. Reset is my square, so I have square as my reset. And then my track marker, this is only for like hot laps in testings. I have it as my like options, or no, share button, sorry, on the PS4 controller. So top left of the PS4 controller, that's my track marker button. Change view is X, that's just like to change view from third person, dynamic, all that. Look behind me is my triangle button. And then left right is obviously left right on the D-pads. Tear off is my big button in the middle, the big button in the middle of the PS4 controller, that's my tear off button. And then raise arm is circle. And I don't have anything else binded, don't need any of these binded, don't even have a trick button binded. Obviously chat T, that's fine, you don't need to really worry about changing that. This is a replay mode, we don't need to worry about this. This is just, you know, move the controller around, left, right, up, down, moves your, you know, the camera around. Pretty simple, you don't really need to change any of that. And then graphics, this will just depend on your PC, it doesn't really matter. I could run higher, but I run it more for aerial. I'd never really worry about how good the game looks, that makes sense, more performance wise. So I don't have it on anything special. Make sure you've got texture size on high, otherwise when people join lobbies your game's gonna freeze. It'll freeze like 4 or 5 seconds, so make sure that's on high. That's the only way to stop that. So yeah, make sure that's on high, and then everything else is kind of personal preference. I have draw distance on high because some maps are weird with draw distance. There'll be something like not load in the in the distance, and it'll be weird. So I always have draw distance on high, and then everything else on low. Don't need 3D grass. Don't need track screens on. If you're going to run anything, I would run all these. Just don't run track screens. It's really pointless having track screens on. And then all this is obviously just based on your PC. So 75 Hz monitor, 1080p. It's not a 2K monitor, so just 920 by 1080. And yeah, don't need VSync on. So yeah, that's pretty much all graphics. That just depends on what you want to run. Literally, is what you want to run. Volumes. Obviously, I've got master volumes and all this. This is just again personal preference. User interfaces all like these sounds. Remote bikes. Obviously bikes around you, so if you don't want them really loud, you turn that down. Onboard aero, there is like wind noise, so if you don't want wind in your ears, you can have it on 0. I know a lot of people run it on 0, but I don't hate it, so I just have it really low. I have it on 10, but I know a lot of people have 0. And then obviously brakes is your brake volume, how loud they squeak and squeal, which I don't have. I have like a chain slap, a chain chatter kind of noise. I don't like squeaking brakes. I hate that. I never use that. I hate that. And then master volume is obviously just your main volume. All this is personal preference. Obviously UK, so I'm using UK. You know, data format units, all that. And then bandwidth is how close everyone loads in and on the map and everything like that. I don't need everyone on my map. And I don't need to see everyone really far up. So I have it on medium. I would recommend have it on high, but medium for me is just better. I just prefer medium. I don't need to see people really far up. They load in close enough, obviously, when I need them to be loaded in. All these auto chats are just random. Obviously, John Pork, What the Sigma, all your random lovely chat spams. So they're just if you want to click 1 in a lobby, this will come up, 2, that'll come up. All the random lovely chats that we all love to spam. Make sure you've got track help on. You don't have to have it on, but I have it on. I believe this is at the bottom when it says like first place, second place, whatever. I believe that's when it comes up at the bottom. So I was like that. And then make sure you've got 3D flags on. You want 3D flags. This is for like marshals, yellow flags, blue flags. You need to have them on really if you want to be racing, so you can know when you're being lapped, or yellow flag, anything like that. I would 100% recommend having 3D flags on. And then yeah, camera settings, field of view 115, tilt 0%, pitch 40%. I don't think I've touched tilt or pitch ever. I think in the 4 years I had this game, I don't think I've touched these. And then field of view, I think I used to run 120, and then I ran 110 for a long time. And then I'm in the middle at 115, and I've had it like this for months now. So just keep it at 115. Don't believe this does anything. I just have it on mouse look. I don't believe it does anything, I'm not gonna lie. Corner anticipation, I have look to apex off, and then lean heading 10%. This just helps a little bit trying to like follow the corner. It just helps me follow a rut, follow a corner a bit more. You kind of, I don't know, it kind of leans in a little bit more with you. You can kind of fiddle around with how you want these. You can kind of change them around. Again, most of these settings are personal preference. I'm just giving you guys a base setup or settings that I use with over 3,000 hours. I know a lot of people look straight away for people's like settings to change or to copy. So I don't know. These are here if you want to copy them basically. I've got show HUD and I've also got show rider stand. So at the bottom right, when you're riding, obviously it'll have your what gear you're in, and then show rider stand, there'll be a little red icon next to the gears, and that will have, you know, all of the that will have whether you're standing, sitting. Don't really need it. I've just always had it on. It's there if I need it. External view, this is third person cameras. I don't ride third person, so I have just kind of changed to how I want it to be. And I've not really fiddled around with third person. I don't ride third person enough to have to worry really about like all the camera views that I use. Just camera settings are there when I want it. If I don't use third person, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, like I said, I race in first person, doesn't really mean much. This is all third person stuff. And then riding aids, I've got lean help off, automatic shift off, shift help off because I'm using quick shift. If you have a bike that doesn't have quick shift, I have to turn this back on again, and then that will obviously, you know, put shift help on, so I haven't got to worry about that. Automatic clutch on, traction help off, brake help on, automatic rider forwards and back, and left right lean. Don't need that automatic. Automatic rider dab, I have this on. I know a lot of people don't have it. I know a lot of people don't run it. I've just always ran it. If it's a really, really tight corner, it'll put your foot down like you do in real life. If you feel like you're going to drop it or whatever, you put your foot down. It does that. I know a lot of people don't run it. I think there is still a rider dab even if you don't have this on. I don't really know. I've just always had it on. I've always kept it on, so I've just left it on. Simple as that. Automatic rider sit, would not recommend because you want to be sitting and standing when you want. I know one person that uses it, and that's Troy. That's it. No one else uses it. Literally no one else uses it that races aerial that I know of. Would not recommend. It's not very good. You want to be sitting and standing when you want to be sitting and standing. As soon as you're starting to turn, your rider will sit down if you're going on automatic, and sometimes you want to be standing around corners, especially in outdoors. So I would have that off. Learn to sit and when to stand when you want to learn, when you want to sit and stand. And then automatic tire changes. This is just when you go back to pits, it will automatically refresh your tires even without clicking the two like little things you have. I still click the things anyway because it freshens up your tires, cleans the tires. But I just have automatic tire changes on. But yeah, that is all my settings. That's everything. If you want to copy these, feel free to copy them. Yeah, hopefully this is a good base if you just want to, if you're new to the game and you want some good settings or some settings that you want to learn, then yeah, go ahead, use these. But yeah, I think that will do it for me. If you guys did enjoy this video, please subscribe and like. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.